Welcome to another episode of Off the Dribble, presented and powered by the Warner Robins All Stars. We got another special show for you tonight, man. We got a professional basketball player to kind of give us his deal as far as how he got to where he's at and what it's going to take to get there. Before we get to that, though, I definitely want to introduce the team. Coach Pat.
What up? What up?
Coach Charles G.
What it do?
Hey, Coach Tap, man, there's been a lot of things going on, man, today especially, man. So I want to kind of throw it to you for a minute just to talk about you guys' upcoming tournament for the 17s and then the open run that we got coming up next week.
Yeah, man. Summer Jam, man. On the radar, man. Final one of the year. Big one to attend, man. We're gonna be there and try to close the summer out with a bang, man. A couple things happened for a couple kids, man. This past week, UNC Pembroke came in today to see Trey. TJ had his offer, earlier this week.
Yeah.
Some stuff in the fold for Sean and Greg, and trying to get a couple more looks from another couple more of our guys, man. So just big things happening, man. With the open run next week, got a lot of coaches live streaming, man, and I think we have University of Florida commit today. They say they're gonna watch online, and I think Wasted just text North Carolina Central. Just say they'll be watching or either be here. So I think we up to like 20, 22, 23 maybe. Colleges, that's just boys, and I think we up to around 19 to 20. I think we added Georgia Southern on the latest side. So we picking up, man. It's a good look for the kids, man. And that's the main thing. To get these kids as much exposure as they can, man, with what's been going on with this COVID-19 situation.
Right.
We're just trying to create avenues, man. And appreciate you guys with all the help and along with Cohesive, Hype South and Hype South Skill Lab, Harnett and Coach Butch, Team Georgia Magic, Coach Brad up at EYA Sports, Sean Williams, who's been pointing us in the right direction. Just a ton of people chipping in, helping us, man, giving us pointers. And if I missed anybody, man, you know who you are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man. So that's definitely all good, man. That work gonna show.
Hey, my bad. I forgot, Coach Juke. That work gonna show. You help leading the way as well. So we all in it together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, and I definitely gotta give a shout out to my man Charles, man. All the graphics and all the everything you see coming out, man. Kind of promoting everything that we're doing and how we're moving and the videos and all of that. That's Coach Charles. So definitely, Coach Charles. I know you don't got that little extra free time, so
yeah. You know.
Hey, yeah, but hey, you killing it right now, though. You killing it right now, man. So as far as pushing this movement forward, man, I salute everybody. They got a hand in this, and I'm just extremely excited. I was talking to you guys before the show. I'm like on cloud 9 over here, man. So I'm just waiting for everything to pop off and give these kids an opportunity. I think that's the most important thing, and that's what I'm so excited for, man. Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
I
appreciate that love, man.
Hey, so definitely, man. I'm excited about what's about to come to pass, and I know this is nothing but great things and building our future. So definitely, again, man, shout out to everybody that got a hand in this.
Hey, and one last thing, the parents, man. The parents they're allowing these kids to, in this time. And we got safety measures, by the way. We got safety measures that that we'll abide by, and we got a flyer as well. Tag to what we're gonna be doing, sign waivers and that type of stuff. But shout out to the parents for letting the kids come in and to the open run and participate. And again, I think we put it out on Twitter earlier. Shout out to the coaches that we contacted about their players. And they got back with us and got us their players and got us all the information that we needed to contact them. And, just shout out to everybody, man, that's doing it the right way for these kids.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. So definitely, like I said, man, I'm just super excited, man, this evening. So I'm on cloud nine. But let's get to the show, right? So before we start the show, definitely want to give a shout out to all our sponsors, man. 619 Training, KPB Designs, Hype South Media, and then Hype South Skills Lab. So we appreciate you guys supporting us. We appreciate the viewers as always. While we're going through the show, if you guys got any questions or whatever the case may be, hit us in the comments, man. We'll get to your questions and we'll get them answered. Without further ado, man, let's go ahead and introduce our guest. I want to bring to the stage Kenny Fluellen.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
What's up, sir?
What's going on, man?
Hey,
Flu,
man,
what's going on, brother?
Chilling,
Hey,
man.
we're excited to have you on the show, man. You're going to give us a different perspective on what we need to do because you live in this life right now.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, so I'm gonna give a little rundown, man, but I'm gonna throw it to you after that and kind of just give us your background and how you got to where you at. So you are a Warner Robin Demon, all right?
Yep.
All right. And then I got you breaking the single game scoring record with 43 points and averaging 22 points your senior year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And
Yeah.
played 2 years over at Payne College.
3 years.
3 years.
Yep.
Okay. And then playing professionally overseas for the last 6 years. You played in Germany, Iceland, and Italy.
Yes, sir.
All right. Did I get anything wrong?
No, that's all right. That's all.
All right.
Good.
Anything you want to add to that?
No. I mean, mostly played 5 years in Germany and then half a year in Iceland, half a year in Italy.
Okay.
So, kind of breakdown of it.
All good, man. Well, like I said, man, welcome to the show. We appreciate your perspective. So the basis of this show is kind of to build the basketball scene in the middle Georgia, South Georgia area, right? As far as educating the parents, players, and coaches that's up and coming on how we can put our kids in the best situation to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm gonna throw it to you at this point right now, man, to kind of just give us your background. And I know you played at Warner Robins and you went to school and all that, but how did you end up ultimately going to play overseas, and what's that been like for you?
Well, ultimately, I mean, it's a tough road in college. I went between 2 schools and everything, all that, and I always wanted to play pro, but everybody wanted to play NBA in that case. But figuring out that I had a European passport. I'm half German, so I have a German passport. So once my junior year came, is when I started looking to try to play overseas, and I got in contact with agents, and they just told me what I need to do, especially for my last year, what my stats need to be like, percentages and stuff like that, because a lot of the coaches and teams over there look at percentages and plus minus and stuff like that, not just only points and what you're doing. So that's basically what I tried to do my last year, especially to try to get over there. And that next summer, after I finished my last year, is when I got my first contract by the end of July. So
for the parents that may not understand plus minuses, what do you mean as far as for your position that you play, the role you had? What is a plus minus for you?
Plus minus is basically what you're doing, what your team is doing when you're on the floor. Like if you're on the floor and you score and the team is no turnovers and stuff like that, you'll get +1, +2. But then plus the minus part is like turnover or fouls or stuff like that. Then when you're off the court, you get a minus and stuff like that. It's complicated.
Gotcha.
Hey, so I definitely don't mean to minimize it, man, but just watching, like my kids play 2K, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they got their my players, right? So and it seemed like they're doing the plus minus aspect even in that game. So if you're in your my player mode, right? To simplify it, if you're in your my player mode and you got turnovers and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, your rating's gonna drop. Versus if you're doing and playing the right way, your rating will go up.
Yep, basically the same thing.
Yeah. But like I said, definitely not to minimize. You know what I'm saying? Actually playing the game. but to simplify, maybe helping some people understand what that actually means.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna jump right off the bat, man, and just ask you, what is it like playing overseas? A lot of people don't get that opportunity or understand, because they think it's either NBA or bust. But actually, you can go overseas and make a good career for yourself and earn good money. But people don't really realize that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's so many leagues in different countries. Like some countries have maybe 5 or 6 different leagues, and there's 15 teams in each league. So I mean, there's plenty of spots to play. I mean, people coming out of college that know that they probably won't go to the NBA, they start looking around different countries, and you can make pretty good money. You have everything's paid for. You got a car, apartment. You don't have to worry about rent. All you have to do is worry about playing basketball. It's basically just like college almost, besides without school.
Right.
So I mean, you have everything basically handed to you when you're there. You just gotta go in and do what you need to do, and that's about it. And you have
So
a
what's
lot of downtime. I mean, you work out. You might have practice once or twice a day, and then play on the weekends. So I mean, it's a lot of downtime. So you have time to travel, see places, and stuff like that.
What's the atmosphere like?
The atmosphere, I think, is better than maybe over here because I mean the fans, they get into it. They have drums, they have air horns, and they don't like. There's no limit. They can make as much noise as they want to. You can bring stuff in the gym, like everything.
Yeah.
So then overseas, they also have like they play with international rules, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of break us down. What's like some of the biggest difference between playing in the States and playing with the international rules?
The biggest one I had a problem with when I first got there was traveling because they so quick to call travel if you don't cross step or if you put the ball down before you move. So that was the biggest thing most Americans have a problem with because over here you can just take one step and like go like on a fast jab step, but over there they call travel real quick.
Mm.
And what other? I mean, it's pretty much the same. It's just little rules here and there. Like you can smack the ball off the rim if it's like rolling on the rim, you can smack it off, stuff like that. I mean, it's not
Right.
really a big difference, but
Okay. Coach Tat, what you got?
Nah, I mean, like you say, the style of play. I mean, looking at videos from over there, it's almost like they run a lot more sets, a lot more set plays than we do over here in the States. Just talk a little bit about the set, like the sets and stuff like they run over there.
it's a slower game. In some cases, they do like running a lot of plays, a lot of quick stuff. They move the ball. I mean, it's not a lot of one-on-one because a lot of teams they mostly have the guys from their country, and then they might have like 2 or 3 Americans. So most of the time, if it's one-on-one, it's mostly the Americans doing it, and then everybody else is moving and trying to get the ball and stuff. So it's not a lot of one-on-one play and more set plays and taking time off the clock, using the whole shot clock and stuff like that.
And now that you say that, Georgia has now adopted the shot clock in high school.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I mean, talk a little bit about playing with the shot clock versus not playing with the shot clock.
Well, in college, the shot clock was, I think, 30. I don't know if they changed it now. It was 30 then. And then pro is 24, and then you get an offensive rebound goes to 14, which the NBA just changed it to 14 now too. But I got kind of used to it because, I mean, it's not – I mean, if you don't have the ball, most of the time you're standing around or running, cutting and stuff like that. You just got to get used to, like, oh, there's a shot clock and, like, because we had the bench scream it out just like how college do too. Like if the shot clock's going down where we need to get the shot up and stuff like that. So, I mean, and the crowd helped too. They count it down too sometimes too. So, I mean, it's pretty simple.
Hey man, I'm gonna back up a little bit. Everybody act like they didn't see this comment and just laugh through it.
Kenny knows his stuff.
Hey, so
Inside stuff.
Hey, shout out to my mother-in-law, Miss Deborah. I love you.
Yeah, you better show Miss Deborah some love, man. We ain't gonna pass through that.
Shout out, man. She one of our biggest supporters, man. She loved the page. She loved all the All-Star stuff. She always commenting. She's always liking. She put those what's those things you put up? Not the emojis, but the little stickers.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss Deborah. We thank you, Miss Deborah.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh man, so yeah, I want to make sure Miss Deborah got some love, man. But
but yeah, Kenny, walk. I mean, I know some of the parents and kids watch this show, and walk them through a little bit of your path or your transition from high school to college.
From high school to college, I mean, college is tough. I mean, you trying to get recruited and trying to go where you best fit in at. I mean, a lot of coaches, them college coaches, will tell you anything that you want to hear just to get you there if they want you there. Because I had trouble with that in the beginning, and I had redshirted my first year, and then they said I was going to do this and that. So I mean, and then I ended up leaving because whatever happened wasn't true that they told me. So I mean, parents really need to stay into it, and I mean, a lot of them say they don't want to talk to parents and stuff like that, but I think it's still good to make sure the parents know how your kids are being treated while they're at school. So I mean, it's not being treated in a bad way, but if they promise you something and they don't get you what they promised you, then like scholarship wise, money wise, and stuff like that, then the parents really need to stay on top of that some too.
Yeah. So Kenny, I'm gonna ask you a question, man. Just from that standpoint. So we've had, coaches on here. We've had evaluators, players that's going through this process. What would be your recommendation as far as for those kids that's looking at a school, or is there any indicators that everything that they're saying might not add up based on the contact you may have with the head coach, right? So we hear a lot about if the head coach ain't really rocking with you, then it's a possibility that it ain't all that it's going to be cracked up to be.
Right. Give me that question again.
So what is there any like certain indicators you would look out for as far as the parents wise, or would you definitely recommend that the parents be involved in those conversations as this process is going through?
Oh yeah, well you can basically do your own research. I mean, you can look into the school, the kind of players they had there before, or who's there now, to make sure that you get yourself in a good position. I mean, me and my dad looked through a whole bunch of stuff before I even decided where to go. And I mean, it still ended up kind of a bad way, and I ended up changing schools and stuff. But
right.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say because you don't really know until you actually get there and see what's going on. But I think now it's probably maybe a little bit different from maybe almost 8 years ago now, since I had to do that and get involved with scouting and going to these exposure camps and stuff like that.
So you say that like 8 years, and you're definitely not an old head, as they say, right?
They take me as one now.
But how do you think the game has changed just from the time that you were coming out of high school, going through that college part, as far as what you know about guys that may be coming over now to play with you fresh out when you've been over there for a few years?
The exposure is different. Social media has a lot to do with it. When I came out of high school and going into college, social media was just basically starting, so it wasn't as popular as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you still had YouTube and stuff like that. You can put your highlights and stuff up, but all the exposure camps and stuff like that, it seems like it got a lot better after I left high school.
Right.
Yeah. So, man, I'm gonna take you back a little bit to your high school days, because you said you came out in 2009. Ted, was you there? Was you at Warren Robins High?
Okay. I was there, but I wasn't there.
Hey, Charles, you can't take him too far back. Remember, he an old head now.
Hey, I was there during those times.
I got you. So kind of walk us through your high school, man. Were you a 4-year starter, and then kind of talk about that because you still hold that record. What, 43 points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I talked to Coach Malone coming out of middle school. He had seen some of my games and stuff like that, and I was actually supposed to go to Houston County because that's what I was zoned for, and I wanted to go to Warner Robins because I wanted to be with Coach Malone and stuff. So my dad ended up getting a job at the school and got me be able to go to wherever school I wanted to because he worked in the school system, and I think it was the first day of camp during the summer. I was playing with the JV, and then after I scored a couple times, Coach Malone said something about it, and the next day I was up there with varsity with them, and then I stayed with them all 4 years. So I mean, it was pretty funny because I was 6'3" as a ninth grader, so I mean,
Oh,
I was
wow.
playing the 4 and 5, and I could play guard too. So it was a big change.
A bunch of that 6'3" was that afro too.
Oh yeah.
You had the rocking afros and braids back then.
Oh yeah. I wish I could still do it now, but it ain't looking like it now.
Hey, brother, I'm with you on that, but don't let me find out you had the Luda fro.
Oh yeah, I did. Tell you about it.
So man, yeah, so 43 points in the game, man. So that game, you have some memories of that game. Kind of was you one of those things you just was at the bucket or everything you went, because games like that you kind of know everything you touch. Yeah, it just go in. You just keep like, hey.
Hey, do you remember who y'all was playing against?
Coffee County. Yep. I remember that game like it was yesterday. I remember everything. I mean, I think we was down by maybe 30 at halftime. Because I think there was like the number 1 team or number 2 team that year. So they came, it was at home, so they came whooped us up pretty bad. And then at halftime we was up by 30 and we just kept trying to play. I think we ended up getting it back down to like 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
But we just ran out of time. We could have came back and won the way the game was going. And I mean, I think I hit maybe 8 or 9 threes that game. Yeah. I mean, it was going in the second half, and everybody just kept giving me the ball and stuff. So I mean, I still remember it like it was the other day.
Yeah, man.
Those are fun days. I talk to Coach Buddy about those games all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he still talk trash about all that.
Oh yeah, we had our times too. My last 2 years he was at Hoko. So I mean, him and B Davy.
Right.
Yeah, B Davy trained. He training our boys now.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So are you in Germany now?
No, I'm at home. I'm with Warner Robins right now.
All right. Well, hey, we need to get some work then.
Oh, yeah.
Need to get some work.
Matter of fact, when all this COVID stuff is over with, man, we're gonna have a set. So you'll be able to come on the set next time.
All right. Sound good.
So
go ahead, Charles.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. So from what you've experienced, and I don't know how much you stayed in tact with what's going on in Warner Robins, as far as basketball and stuff like that, as far as the difficulties that Middle Georgia kids have trying to get recruited. I know you've probably experienced that. So,
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do you see it now? I know social media plays a big part, and you kind of spoke to that a little bit. What are some things you could give advice on how to grow it?
I mean, what y'all are doing, I think is great because I mean, y'all getting these kids out here. I mean, we didn't have that like when I was playing. I mean, it wasn't people. I mean, it was people trying to help, but not as much as like y'all are doing now. So I mean, basically, what y'all are doing is great for them having open runs, having coaches watch the open runs on the live stream. Like, I think it's just great. Yeah. But back then, it was like you either was in Atlanta or somewhere else in part of Georgia. Here it was just football basically.
Yeah.
So like it was hard to try to get something from here because a lot of coaches don't even know where Warner Robins is at, and they're like coming here is like they don't want to take the trip if it's not worth it and stuff like that. So I mean, being able to have an open run and have a live stream for coaches to even watch and consider watching, that's real good.
Yeah.
Well, and it's and the thing about that, Ken, and you came and spoke to some of our younger kids before, and you know, let them know your path and this, that, and the other, and that's basically, you know, why we do what we do, is because, you know, for kids to see people like you playing on the professional level, see people from Macon, like Jared Fitch. Jared Fitch played in the league and played overseas. People that Kellen Milner, which is reps in the state right now. He played at Creighton and played overseas. These people that these kids can visualize and see, and know that you know, I seen Kenneth Fluellen. He plays. He's a professional basketball player. I can do the same thing. That's some of the things that we try to provide, you know, for these kids when y'all come talk to these, when having y'all come talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, that's kind of things that we're trying to provide, man, and we appreciate, you know, when you do come talk to them, and give them that reason, you know, to keep working hard, and you know, if the NBA doesn't work out, you know, I can go overseas and play. You know, just things like that, man, that people don't really take, you know, that think is real good, but I mean, it's good to us.
And it works because I mean, I talked to Kellen a bunch. Like when I first thought about going overseas, we had got close. We was working out in the gym. We saw each other on base all the time. We started talking and stuff, and his record was the one I think I broke to in the high school too. So
yeah.
So I mean, we got real close, and I asked him about playing overseas and stuff like that, and he gave me some stuff to look into and stuff. So it really helps, like when you be able to that you know somebody to help you get somewhere. So I mean, it helps.
Yeah. I think Buddy got something to say.
But somebody don't be trash talk. He be telling the truth. All right, Coach Buddy. Hey, Coach Buddy one of the guys within this organization as well. Is a big part of this movement as well, that don't like to get out and be seen and all that stuff, but he does a lot with these kids as well.
Absolutely. So we got a few that's probably going to be graduating college in the next 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
2 years. So what advice, you know, for those if they have, what advice could you give them if they have aspirations of being a pro athlete, as far as what that process, what would be that first step for them?
To keep working. I mean, keep working out. I think by my junior year, I was starting to look at going overseas and stuff too. So they probably need to start soon, like trying to get in contact with agents, coaches, just to build a relationship. Yeah. Make sure your name is out there and have highlights and stats and stuff. Make sure you keep up with all that and basically build a resume because it's a job. So you need to have everything prepared before you think about even trying to go overseas.
Right.
That's some good advice. And I hope not just ours. I hope anyone that's in that status that's watching take heed to that advice as well. So
because all that stuff is on the internet. You can go to Eurobasket and find every team in every country. Like mostly everybody has Facebook, so you can message agents, coaches, the teams, and everything. So I mean, you can go and find everything online.
Right. Hey, Kenny. First of all, man, I didn't say it at the beginning of the show, but I think you have a great name. You and your dad, right? Your dad, you're a junior, right? I mean, your dad's named Kenny too, right? Yes, I think that's a great name. First of all, just straight out the gate. I'm gonna say it one more time. That's a wonderful name. But other than that, man, as far as just, can you just talk on like the fundamental aspect, right? So everybody think you go pro and you do all of these, counter dribbles and doing all this type of stuff. But how important is the fundamentals as far as at the professional level?
I mean, everything. I mean, if you've been playing basketball for most of your life, all that stuff you learn is gonna build up. I mean, you can add stuff, but most of the time, everything is still gonna be simple. I mean, you learn stuff, different moves, and stuff like that, but in the back of your mind, it's still basketball. You just got to play basketball.
Yeah. So you kind of need that background to get you where you at, to be able to do certain moves versus in certain situations and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you're always gonna be learning. I mean, learning is not gonna stop. Like, I'm almost 30, and like I'm still learning different stuff, techniques on shooting and stuff like that. I mean, you're always gonna keep learning.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't have to say you're almost 30 like you old, bro.
Hey, Kenny, he's saying I'm almost 30, and I'm sitting here talking about I remember the joke when he was in 8th grade. With the tell y'all how old we getting.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, I'm still challenging. I seen Trey in the gym yesterday, and I'm still challenging him. And he a senior this year. And I told him, yo, I'll go get these flights real quick and get on the court with you, bro.
I'm leaving that alone. That's
I'm gonna say Flu. That's Flu. Talk to these.
No, Tat. Say Kenny. Good thing.
I've called him Flu since the 8th grade. So Flu, talk to the young kids, man, about their you played varsity as a 9th grader.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to those upcoming 9th graders, man, that is preparing themselves right now to get on that varsity level.
Basically, I mean, they just got to make sure they keep their head up, don't get down on themselves. They might not start at varsity at their 9th grade. They might be JV. So, I mean, you can work your way up. I mean, try to figure out what you're good at and stick to it. Play your role until you get to that point where you can make varsity. I mean, I know my freshman year, Coach Malone made me run with Pierre the whole time so I can get in shape.
Mm-hmm.
And Pierre used to run crazy, like 5-minute run every day, and I had to stay with him, stay behind him the whole time. So I mean, if they get in that position to even do camp that summer for varsity, to try to stay with some of the older guys that know what's going on in the system already, so they can pick up on things faster when they learn and see from the older guys that's been doing it for a year or two. That's what I did. I picked up on what Kenny Willis, Braxton, Pierre, all of them were doing, because I was basically playing the same positions, doing the same things they were doing. So basically just still learning from the older guys that's already been there.
Right. But some of these kids of these days that are coming up in this generation, man, it's a bunch of them. One, either they don't like competition.
Mm-hmm.
Two, they scared to beat somebody out. They scared of what somebody's gonna think if they beat their person out. They mad at me because I got it right. I got it done. I don't want them to be mad at me. That I mean, I don't understand what's the deal with that generation and that mindset. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of these kids. They don't want to compete to get to that. They want to be on that level, and they're happy to put on the varsity uniform and sit the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to beat out the other person because they think the other person to be mad at this, that, and the other. But what you just said was, I'm running with them older guys. I'm gonna see what they doing, and 9 times out of 10, I want to be better than what they are.
Yep.
I want to play.
Yeah. Especially if they're sitting on the bench, you can learn from what they're doing on the floor. If they mess up, then you know what to do when you get in there that you won't mess up because you learn from what they did.
Right. Right. I don't think they have. I don't think some of these kids have that mindset, man, of doing that. And that's one thing I can say. What we're trying to do, we're trying to break that cycle and break that mindset of some of these kids, man. That and make them compete, play against the older guys.
Mhm.
Um, and I think what we do at practice, we make these kids, man, these eighth graders play against those 10th graders. Make those 10th graders play against those seniors.
Mhm.
You know, and so on and so on. You try to build that competitiveness and so they won't back down when they see older kids. Because it's
Yeah.
gonna happen when you get to high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of that, how much of the from what you've seen at the pro level overseas, how many young pro athletes like 16, 17 do you run into? You run into a lot of those or a few?
It's a few. Most of the time there's a couple young guys, maybe 15, 16, 17. I mean, they've been playing and they're trying to learn from the older guys as well. I mean, you see, Luka Doncic just came. He was playing since he was 14. So I mean, there's guys that's over there that's like that, and they start at a young age and play pro because they don't have like high school sports like we do. So like they have to start playing like pro, like 14, 15 years old.
Man, that's just learning at a different level. And what Coach Tad is speaking to, I think I don't want to say basketball in the U.S. is falling behind, but in a sense, in some ways, it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
Skill
got
set. I think skill set.
there. You go. That's probably a better way to put it.
I wouldn't say it's falling behind. I think everybody else is catching up.
yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's falling behind. I wouldn't say it's falling behind, but I think everybody's catching
they
up.
closing the gap. But yeah, that's probably a better
Yeah,
way.
they're
yeah,
closing the gap, and it goes back to, and I think it goes back to the fundamentals.
Right.
yep,
Yep.
I mean, we get away from, the fundamentals and rolling the basketballs out and just let them play.
Well, and,
yeah,
and also, I mean, I think that's a great point, right? So, just from the standpoint of AAU ball, right? For the most part, are we keep teaching the majority? Well, I would say not the majority. I think the majority are teaching the game the right way. But I think we have some teams that's the athleticism. So if I got an athletic kid, then I'm just going to use them and maybe not teaching them the skill set because I'm trying to chalk those wins up. Right,
yeah,
and I think that has a part to do with it as well. Of course, we want the athletic kid, we want the bigger kid, but we also want to teach them a skill set. But I think sometimes some of the coaches get so caught up in the wins and losses that they're not teaching them the skill set, and they teach them to do one thing in particular, right? And not doing that. Kenny, from your standpoint, man, and just watching the game, can you kind of speak to that at all, or? Just
uh,
I mean, seeing the younger kids overseas and seeing how they develop. So basically, seeing the younger kids overseas develop versus seeing how kids over in the states are developing. Is there a difference?
mm, I don't think it's a difference. I mean, I don't know how they're being taught. I mean, because they do. I think they mature more faster than kids over here.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's just a maturity level and learning how to pick up on things.
Yeah,
So I don't think it's a big difference, but I think it's just because they're playing at a younger age and they have to play with older people. They pick up on a lot of things. They might be stronger and their minds move faster.
Right.
they process information a little faster.
Yeah, and a lot of them kids they speak 2 or 3 different languages. So it's like I mean, there's most of them are real smart. I mean, you don't hardly see any any dumb kids over there. They're pretty smart.
Yeah. And I think that kind of goes to Coach Tat's point as far as they're catching up,
Yeah.
right? So they're sitting there and because they have aspirations to get into the league or whatever the case
Mm-hmm.
may be. So these are the things that they feel they need to do to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and over there, I mean, it's like, and I mean, like he spoke to, you got 14 and 15-year-olds playing pro ball.
Yeah.
We got 14 and 15-year-olds playing their age groups
or playing down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got I mean, to be honest with you, you got some of that going on too. That's playing down.
Yeah.
But I mean that's I mean it's just closing the gap. But we have to do what we have to do what we have to do to keep pushing it forward and keep them from closing the gap as much.
Yeah, definitely.
Like right now, I mean, kids coming out of, I mean, just be real, kids coming out of Atlanta right now is getting, one kid might be drafted number one in the NBA draft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got Jaylen Brown who's going crazy right now.
Man, that boy going woof.
I mean, they're doing it right. Don't get me wrong, they're doing it right up there. And it's just like I tell you, it's just like here. They are doing it right up there, and we're trying to catch up. We're trying to close the gap.
We're trying to close.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're I mean, I don't think. I mean, we're not trying to break even because it's more resources there than it is here. But we're trying to close that. We're trying to at least close that gap, and I think that's what other countries is doing with USA basketball.
Yeah.
They're just trying to close that gap up until they get there, and then try to take it over.
Yeah. No, I think that's the perfect way to put it. Yeah, it's the perfect way to put it.
Yep.
I think Georgia basketball, all the way around, has come a long way. To have two players probably going to be in the top 10. Top 10. That's huge, and you might have another 2 or 3 the next one with a Sharif Cooper. I say BJ Boston, a Georgia kid. He may go. They may be another top 2 depending on how they perform.
Well, and I think just I think we've seen that, right, Charles? And I think me and you have seen that in particular versus going to play these tournaments out of state, and in the way that the game is called, and we're playing the same way that teams in Georgia are playing us, and it hasn't caught up yet. So we're playing aggressive, we're playing fast, we're playing that way, and when you go out of state and play, sometimes they're like, "Whoa, you guys are playing too rough," and it's like, "No, we're not playing rough. This is the way we're supposed to play. This is the way we've been taught to play, so to speak, right?"
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So, and I think it showed with I say TJ Grant. I watched him last year, and how physical he was. The kid about fouled out damn near every.
Well, yeah, and so then you talk about you talk about travel ball, and you talk about high school basketball. And sometimes I don't even know if the high school officials have caught up to the way that travel ball is being played. And not in the sense of they just throwing the ball out and saying go play, but travel ball is a little bit more physical than high school basketball at times.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times.
So Kenny, let me ask you this: you played travel ball?
Yeah, I played.
I mean, if you could think back that far.
Yeah, I played with was it Warner Robins Express, a couple Atlanta teams, Atlanta All Stars, Smyrna Stars.
Right. So
Couple
just from
teams.
that standpoint, as far as you playing travel ball, have you seen the game change and from that standpoint as well? I know you talked about the exposure piece, but as far as like how kids are coming out, quote unquote, pro ready from going, high school between playing travel ball as far as when you came up.
I think now kids are more athletic, so I mean that helps out a lot too. I mean,
yeah,
and kids are taller. I mean, because when we were playing, it was hardly anybody 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", and now that's like almost everybody.
Right.
So I mean, it's a big difference, athleticism and height wise. I don't know. I haven't really been keeping track of travel ball really since I stopped playing. So I wasn't really really looking at it that much unless something comes up like someone dunks on somebody or something like that.
Yeah. I can tell you, man. But
You
I
over
can't.
there hitting the like button, huh?
Yeah.
I came from Washington State, and I think when my son got here, my youngest one got here, 2 boys. He's playing upper grade, 4th grade, and we ran into a 5'8", 5'9", 4th grade. I said, man, what is this? Like, who's 5'9" in the 4th grade?
Yeah.
I think Kenny told me, he said, welcome to Georgia. I said, oh. I'm like, good Lord. And he wasn't no skinny stream, man. That boy was, yeah. So kids are just, I don't know what they feeding them down here, but kids are just big.
Yeah.
Big.
And I think the other side of that is Atlanta has a lot of guys that play pro ball somewhere.
Yeah, the kids are playing somewhere.
Yeah, so now their kids are playing.
Yeah.
So they have that aspect going for them, and a lot of people want to move to Atlanta, or whatever the case may be. So it forces or gives that opportunity that you're going to be playing against probably a pro's kid somewhere along the lines.
And you got Ryan Matumbo right up there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I mean, kid about 6'9", 6'10"?
10 kid, yeah.
Yeah.
The dad is 7 feet.
Yeah, it's nothing to walk into a tournament and see a pro, and I would even say a NBA pro or a WNBA pro, right? So those are only the ones that we recognize, but we don't recognize all the overseas pros that are in there as well. That that are training their kids and all that type of stuff. So and I know those guys are up there. So yeah, it's a different game, man. So you definitely got to be in it to win it.
And it ain't just basketball pros, football, track, right? So,
Kenny, what's next, man? What's next for you?
I mean, I'm still waiting to see what teams are doing. This COVID stuff really pushed a lot of teams back, money wise and stuff like that. And I don't know. I'm just basically waiting. I mean, most of the time in the summers, you're waiting anyway to hear something. Most of the time, you don't hear nothing to June, July, but now it's put back because of everything. Everybody's starting later, and money-wise, they got to get their money right and all that stuff. So basically just a waiting game.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, man, let me ask you this as far as what your mentality has to be as far as going through that waiting game. Right?
Always be ready.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Right. Can you speak a little bit more on that? Just as far as the training aspect, staying sharp, staying ready to go, all of those things?
You always got to be training anyway, because things like this, once you start trying to go overseas and playing, like you can get a call one day and they'll get your flight a day or two later. So if you're not in shape, they'll send you home after a week or two if you're not in shape or not playing well. So, I mean, you always got to be training, always got to be working out, make sure you're in some kind of good shape. If you get there in preseason, they'll give you a little leeway of getting in shape because everybody's trying to get in shape. But, like, if you go in, like now, if I go the next month or so, the season's going to be starting like the next week or something like that. So you always got to be ready. Make sure you're still doing what you need to be doing in case you do get that call.
Right.
And that goes hand in hand with what I'm talking about with these up and coming freshmen.
Yeah.
That coach, like Coach Malone did you.
Yeah. You never know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the kids have to be ready.
So Kenny, let me ask you this, man. Can you give some words of advice to all the young folks we got watching right now?
Yeah. Just always just keep working out. I mean, you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, I wanted to play pro, but I didn't think I would actually play pro because all the obstacles you have to go to get there. I mean, it's gonna be hard times, but you just gotta stick with it. It don't matter what your coach is doing. If you're sitting on the bench, but just make sure you're still working out, trying to get better. Because you never know. I mean, you don't have to play D1 to play pro. I mean, I played D2. So, like, you can go. It doesn't matter. Basketball is basketball. So you just got to keep working out.
Yes. Hey, Kenny, say that part again for me, man.
Basketball is basketball.
Yeah.
That's serious.
And Kenny, that's the mentality that we try to tell our kids that's being recruited as well. Everybody's not a D1 caliber player.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't have your mindset set on I'm gonna be a Division I player. Yeah, that's the dream that every basketball player that's coming up has.
Yep.
I want to be a Division I basketball player. But you want to be a Division I basketball player, and you got NAIA, Division II, Division III, or JUCO basketball ability. That's where you need to be going.
Yeah.
Right.
If they paying for you to come there and play basketball, then yeah, I mean
It
they
doesn't
taking care
go.
of your school.
Bingo. And that's one of the things that we like to talk to even the young kids. We know that 5-6 years away from graduating, but still want to instill that in those kids. Go wherever is free.
Yep.
Wherever it's free, it doesn't make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as long as your parents ain't got to pay for school, that's what you're shooting for.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to talk to them about, man.
And if you D1, man, they gonna find you. It's gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
If you D2, it's gonna be there. It is like Coach Stats said. If you D3, it is what it is.
Yeah, and you got some kids that has Division I grades.
Mm-hmm.
But if your talent doesn't match your grades, then it is what it is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, you might say, I mean, I seen a post on Twitter the other day. Kid out of school, great grades. D2 school asked about him. The dad says, my kid ain't going no D2.
Yeah.
But a D2 school is asking about him. D1 school ain't asking about him.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he has D1 grades, but he has D2 ability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
I mean,
I think also, Kenny, can you kind of even speak to the point of how competitive was D2? So like people here, it's not D1, but D2, because we've had JUCO coaches on here. Shout out to Coach Dawson right over there, and he tells us exactly how competitive JUCO is. So I can only imagine how competitive D2 is.
It's competitive. I mean, I don't see a difference because I mean I play with D1 guys, I play D2 guys, JUCO guys. I play with everybody. So I mean, it's competitive. If you just know how to play basketball, I mean, it's the same thing. Basketball is basketball.
Right.
It's competitive at every level. I mean, D1 you might have more taller guys, athletic guys, and more guys that's more popular than other people. I mean, that's basically the big thing. D1s are bringing in guys where money's gonna come in. So I mean,
I mean, and I say I think I don't even say it's more competitive. I think the guys that are D2, D3, and JUCO are more hungrier.
yeah, they got work more. Yeah,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They got to work more to get what they want.
Right.
Versus the D1 kids, I mean, a lot more has been given to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Versus that D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I ain't gonna say it's more competitive, but I think the athletes are more hungrier.
Right.
Yeah.
There's some D2 programs out there now that can compete. We may beat some D1 programs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
we have.
Right. Don't think you're going D2 and I'm going over here and dominate. Like,
I mean, D2 or D3.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
but think about it. Some of those JUCOs will give them a run for the money too. Because where do you think they're going to get some of the guys from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
They getting a bunch of the guys from
D1 talent. There's a lot of D1 talent at JUCOs right now.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. You know, everybody's path is different.
Yeah.
Everybody's path is different.
Kenny, kind of speak to what your confidence need to be, man, when you playing, regardless at whatever level. So you may have some setbacks, you may not have a good game or whatever the case would be. But what does your confidence need to be in yourself and understanding what you can do as an individual playing this game of basketball?
I mean, you just always got to believe in yourself. I mean, you know how hard you work. Many people don't know probably how hard you work, but you just got to keep going and don't stop. I mean, it's going to be setbacks along the way. It might not be one setback; it might be a couple. I mean, you just got to keep your head straight and keep trying to do what you want to do. If you want to keep play pro, you just got to stick with it.
Right. Yeah. I think that's important even for our young folks, man, as far as trying to go to that next level. So those guys that's going into their freshman year or whatever the case may be, don't feel intimidated. Go out there and play your game.
Oh, yeah.
Play ball and do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So definitely.
That's a great point, man. And just keep working. Period. All right, and don't be scared of competition.
It only get you better.
Right. It's only gonna get you better.
Yep.
You got to take, as Coach Dawson said, when you start bumping,
Gotta start bumping.
He'll start bumping.
hey, when you start bumping on that court,
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have to just take what happened.
Yeah.
You're gonna win, you're gonna lose some. But
Yeah.
I mean, that loss, you should learn.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Kenny, let me ask you a question, man. What's been your best experience overseas?
Basically, just I mean, you get to play basketball. You get to do what you love. I mean, you're getting paid to play. I mean, you get to travel. I mean, see different countries. You just gotta take it all in while you're doing it, because I mean, it's not gonna last forever. So I mean,
All right. Okay? Let me get a little bit more specific. What's been your best in-game situation so far?
in game,
You done
I mean,
banged on somebody? You done hit the winning shot? Come on, man.
we played the number one team this past year, and we ended up beating them, I think, about 15-20 or something like that.
Right.
I think I had 37, I think.
Oh, man.
And a couple of the young guys always picked at
Hey,
me.
just 37?
Oh, yeah, just 37. A couple of young guys, they always picked at me because I was like, it take me a longer time to warm up, to get moving and stuff like that, because I got to stretch and all this other stuff.
Here we go.
They-
Here we go. It takes me a long time to warm up.
They always joked around and said I couldn't dunk no more, and I dunked twice that game and didn't say anything else after that. So I mean,
how does it feel being a mentor to those guys?
I mean, it feels good to be able to just teach some guys. I mean, I had another American on my team this year that was his first year out, and he was our leading scorer. I mean, he was like a 3-4, and he averaged like 21.
Right.
So I mean, like, he's pretty good. He's gonna be good. So I mean, being able to teach him and help him out through stuff is like it. I could see he was learning.
Yeah.
So what is your travel schedule look like, man?
You wanna know?
I said, what does your travel schedule look like? You guys hit Australia, or what countries are you hitting?
Mostly it was just in country, like
In country, okay.
because I didn't play the top league. Like if I would play the top league, they had like Euro Cup, and that's when they played different countries and stuff.
Gotcha.
So I didn't play for none of the teams that had like different Euro Cup games and stuff like that. But when I played in Germany, most of the teams were in Germany. Iceland was the same way. Italy was the same way too.
Okay.
So and I'm gonna, we ain't gonna get in your pockets, man, but you make a pretty good living being able to play overseas and do these things, correct?
Oh yeah, I mean everything is paid for. They pay for your apartment. Some teams they give you cars. give you maybe a meal a day, like a lunch a day or something like that. So the only thing you're really spending your money on is like for yourself, for like food or clothes if you want to buy clothes and stuff like that.
And majority
Or
of that's
travel.
free, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to let our young folks know out there that you can still make a good living going overseas. So the NBA is not the end all be all. You can still be successful.
Oh yeah.
Do what you need to do going overseas.
Yeah.
I thought you was trying to make a run for the Euro Combine or something.
Well, you know, I mean, he's 30. I'm 43. I still got some years left in me.
I don't know what time of them games come on. I'm gonna find a way.
They got icy hot and all that over there.
Oh yeah, they got all that. They'll take care of you. They give you a bunch of doctors and massage therapies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I
won't even play after all of that. I was like, I'm straight.
But Ken, that's one of the main things these kids gotta understand and realize that is an avenue as well. You know, to earn a living after college.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to go overseas and play. I mean, but like I say, them seeing you do it, some of the guys before them, you know, now they know they got that avenue.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Hey, so Kenny, I'm not gonna put you on blast, man, while you on the show, but you gonna be here next weekend?
I actually got to be in North Carolina. Yeah.
Oh, all right. You know, you definitely had an invite to come over to the open run that we're doing, man, for the high school kids.
Yeah, I wish I could be there, man.
Yeah, so yeah. I think your story and, you know, just your journey would be great to share if you was gonna be here. So you definitely had a VIP entrance, man. We'll get you in with a Gatorade or something over there. But nah, man, definitely. I wish you was here just to be able to come over and check it out and see how basketball in the Middle Georgia area has grown, and how these kids are working hard and going out and doing what they're doing, man. So, yeah, definitely. I wish you was gonna be here for that.
Yeah. If I can get the link, I'll watch the link and watch them play too, if that's possible.
Yeah, we'll get you the link, man. We'll get you the link.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll definitely hook that up, man, because you are your special guest on the show. All other people that's not coaches, don't ask for the link. But nah, we'll get you the link, bro. Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. How often do you come back? When you come back, how often are you home?
Well, my fiance lives in North Carolina, so I'm pretty much back and forth.
Right.
So most of the time during the summer, I'm here. I might get here April or May. It probably won't leave until like August, September. So usually here 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
So
no, definitely next year, man. Once all the COVID stuff kind of settles and all that good stuff, we definitely want to get you in the gym for a camp experience or bring you out when we hosting something for you to speak to the young folks.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Definitely. So we'll definitely link up with that.
All right.
Good. Text, man.
Yeah, that was me. My bad.
But yeah, that'll be good, Kenny, man. And we always stay. We always keep in touch, man. All the time, and like I said, appreciate you coming to speak to the kids beforehand when you came and spoke to them. Yeah, man, that's a blessing. I'm glad to be able to call you, to come do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, Charles, you got.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so they hey, if you want to know what we was texting, man, because I'd be rude not to say it. What is it?
It's been a minute since you were coaching at Lackland.
Oh man, what's going on tonight? Yeah, It's been about I left there at 14, about 6 years since I've been down in Texas coaching. Yeah, it's been about 6 years. But hey, Kenny, man, we I guess we watching your highlight film right now, man.
Yeah. So we're gonna put up a little highlight of let the viewers see. I think it's a highlight from last year when you was in Italy.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so this is off the cuff,
I
man.
don't know if you want to show that one. The quality ain't that. The quality is not the best. I got a recent one that you probably need to show.
Hey, this one looks pretty good right here.
Let's see what we're working with.
It's in Italy.
Hey, you can walk it through it. See?
It's the Italy one? Yeah. I don't know how good the quality is. Yeah, I was only there for like was it 2 months? So I had to come in late.
When you dropping buckets, don't hit you?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Hey, you kind of look like me out there a little bit.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
You get that extra step out there too. You get maybe 3 steps.
Hey, so we watching this, man. Like, what's your normal day of like team practice and individual work look like?
Most of the time we might have like weights maybe 2 or 3 times a week, like in the morning, then maybe a shoot around after, and then most of the time the practices be in the afternoon.
How long the practices normally go?
We got a heat on them, boy.
Yeah, you see it, right?
That thing go.
It depends. A lot of coaches, they try not to go past 2 hours, but then you get some coaches that was power hungry and they'll go longer.
Right. So did you have access to the gym when you needed to go as well, right? To work on individually?
Sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I did. I did. A lot of the gyms that we use, because we have multiple gyms we might have practice at. It just depends how far it was away and if we could even get in if the door's open. Like this past year, I had a key to the gym, so I can go shoot whenever I wanted to. So.
Oh, okay.
It just depends what kind of facilities and stuff they have.
Right. That was you playing some defense too, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Hey, he don't have much of a choice on that now.
That was ingrained in him, huh, Tat?
Yeah.
Gave that man high five, then smashed him.
He got me on the other end. I had played against him in Germany, actually, so we knew each other already, so we was going back and forth.
Right.
He had just hit a shot, and then I came down and hit one, so, I mean, we was going back and forth.
Hey, let me ask you this, man. Has anybody ever talked trash to you in another language?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I mean.
You knew they were talking trash, though?
Yeah, I mean, because you could pick up some of the language. Your teammates, they might tell you some stuff like what other people might say and stuff like that, so you pick up on it. I mean, when I was in Germany, I understand the language, so they couldn't really speak trash then. So
right.
You got a stroke on you, man.
Or better yet, I guess it's the coaches, right? So like, would you have an interpreter? So like when you were in practice, if the coaches didn't speak English?
Well, I was lucky enough to play on teams that everybody spoke English. So I mean,
okay.
Yeah. Illy was. I mean, the coach, he spoke English, but most of the time he always speak Italian to the other guys, and I'll be lost sometimes, and I have to go ask him later. So I mean, that was the only problem I had. But mostly everybody speak English, so I mean, it wasn't too hard.
Yeah. No, man, I think it's huge that, being able to play overseas and just seeing another culture, right? So being outside of what you're used to and being able to travel the world at the same time as playing basketball, I think that's huge, man.
Yeah. Different, a lot of fun, like just to see everything, different cultures, different foods. I mean,
Oh man, you and Darren got to get over there for one of them Oktoberfest. Yeah, we got to make it that way.
Hey, so like we do on the show, man. We we barter to get tickets from everybody. So as soon as you get picked up with the next squad or whatever the case may be, holla at us. And
Oh
we'll
yeah, I
get
got y'all
as
tickets.
long
Y'all,
as
if y'all gonna come over there, I'll take care
yeah.
of
I'm gonna sit that one out. I'm gonna sit that one out. That flight too long for me.
Yeah, it's a good 9-hour flight.
Yeah,
Hey, Tat won't make it. Me and Charles will be there.
yeah, y'all
Just
go ahead.
let me know.
Hey, look, hey, have a cold German beer waiting for me when I get off.
Hey, y'all Facebook Live it for me. I watch it.
Yeah, we're gonna do this show from out there. Hey, off the dribble, live from Germany.
There you go. Hey,
we going international, man. Definitely, we going international. So yeah, you let us know, man. You leave a couple tickets, like we say. You leave a couple tickets at will call. We'll be there.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah, you have to let me know like 4 months in advance, though. I gotta get my mind right.
Get you to come over like February, March, so you got time.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, man, what does that season run? What's the month?
Depends. I mean, sometimes we start late September to about maybe April, and then playoffs.
Okay.
Or maybe like end of March, beginning of April will be like playoffs. It's about the same time frame.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things, man, I want to foot stomp again is like people don't understand how competitive it is over there playing.
Oh yeah, I mean,
everybody's
everybody's trying to get to their new contract, new team. So I mean, they're gonna be playing hard the whole time.
Yeah. So I mean, just knowing a few guys that have been over there and played and how they talk about it, man. So I know it's like 100% competitive. So you always got to stay sharp.
Yep.
Yeah. So definitely, man. Big shout out to you, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
Coach Tat, what you got?
Oh no, man. Just appreciate Kenny coming on, man. Like I said, man, that as long as the kids have something positive to look up to, man, we appreciate it. Anytime you're in town and we're doing anything, you're more than welcome to be there, brother. Wish you could be there next week. So, but you got things to do too. We understand that. But like I said, man, appreciate you coming on, man. Keep being positive.
Yeah. Coach Charles, what you got, brother?
Hey man, it was I genuinely enjoyed the show, man. So you seem like a good dude. Now, whenever if you decide to come back home, man, we got a team waiting for you to coach, man. Get some of that pro experience.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For you. Or if you just gonna be down for the summer, just hit us up. We got you.
All right.
Yeah, you always got a spot with us. If you feel like you want to do something, just give us a holler.
I mean, he already said he home from like when you home again?
Just depends. I've been here this time because the season ended early, so I got here like the end of March. So I'm usually here.
So I mean, from March to July, man, we got a squad for you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Get them boys right, Kenny.
Yeah, we got a squad for you, man. Come on.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. Nah, man. Like Coach Tad and Coach Charles said, man, we appreciate you being on the show, man. Dropping some insight and knowledge. Like I said earlier, the whole premise and basis of the show is trying to educate this area and grow the game of basketball, right? So you growing up here, majority of the time it's been a football / baseball situation. We're trying to just grow basketball in this area, man, because we got athletes and kids that want to go get it. Yeah. And when we go to Atlanta, we compete, right? Mm-hmm. So not to say they're our only competitors, but at the same time, that's who we're challenging to get our name out there and let them know that we got some heat down here. So we look at you as a staple as far as what we're trying to do. So that's why we even throw that invite out there. When you come back, we want to learn. We want to learn as players. We want to learn as coaches. Give us your experience, man, and we kind of just go from there.
Appreciate it.
And like I said, man, you got a hell of a name anyway. Shout out to you and your pops, man. You know what I'm saying on that namesake, right? And then and it's all good, man. You got anything before we get out of here?
Nah, just appreciate y'all having me on, man. I mean, it feels good to try to get back and try to teach these kids what I went through, so they know they can also make it as well.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, definitely, man. We're gonna utilize you, so just be prepared for that.
No, man, I'm ready.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, but look, before we get out of here, man, we definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsors again, 619 Training, KPB Designs, Hype South Media, Hype South Skills Lab. Shout out to all those guys, man. Shout out to my man, Coach Juke. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Gio. Shout out to Jared over at 619. If I'm forgetting anybody, shout out to Coach Butts, man. I hope you're getting better out there on that scooter. Shout out to Big Wasey out there. Shout out to Coach Harnett, man. It's like 1,000 people I could shout out, man. But we appreciate everything you guys do for us as far as pushing this movement. I'm super excited about the live stream we got coming up for the high school kids next weekend. I think that's gonna be tremendous. Coach Tad is still pushing the envelope, still taking these kids somewhere to get seen. Tad, y'all down in South Carolina this weekend at a Sean Williams event, right?
Yes. Rock Hill, man. Rocking
so
rocking out with on the radar.
We were gonna be able to be down there with you, brother. I wanted to be down there with you, man, but all good, man. You take them 17s down there and shout out to Cam Perkins and the youngins that you got with you that's going down there to get that experience, man. I'm just, like I said, tonight I'm super excited. Y'all heard the music I came on with when we got on the show, man. I'm just
hey, for our viewers out there, KP on one today. After the show on one.
Hey,
he was all the way live before the show.
Yeah, I'm just excited, man. I'm just happy about I'm seeing the movement happen, right? So I'm seeing the things come together. I'm seeing the genuineness. I'm seeing how people are working towards the same common goal, trying to push these kids, man. And I think it's a beautiful thing, man. So yeah, I was on my Jay-Z.
He was on his Jay-Z.
I was on my Jay-Z earlier, man. I'm already home, man.
But yeah, I'll say this, man. I think when you get common minds with the same vision, and you're working towards something, those things start to come to fruition. And that's what's happening in the middle of Georgia. So now it's time to, the planning that's taking place. Now it's time to execute some of these things and start moving forward with some other things and see if we can just keep Middle Georgia going. So that's the way forward. And I think all minds that's a part of this, Coach Tad, Wakey, Coach Brad, Juke, Coach Butts, and all those guys. If I miss anybody, man, charge it to my mind, not my heart. But all those guys have like minds. We're just pushing this thing for boys and girls. So, like Coach KP saying, man, it is. It's something big. It's something to be excited about if you're from this area, man. Because I think this is a first.
Yeah, man, and and I forgot. Shout out to Coach Willie out there on the radar. Shout out to Locksway, Love of the Game podcast, the whole crew out there, man. Like I'm telling you, the movement is happening. So we're just excited to be a part of it, and whatever all our partners that we're in this together with to push it some kind of way. Coach Tat, man, I don't want steal the thunder, man. Anybody I'm forgetting?
No, man. You're not forgetting nobody. And one thing, and like you said, one thing is one common goal, and that's those kids. One thing that stuck with me probably about 5 or 6 episodes back with Mark Edwards. create your own.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Mark Edwards, man.
He reiterated that 100 times. Create your own. Appreciate it, Mark. We're trying to create our own. With the help of some that's already done it and still doing it, continue to do it. It ain't nothing that we're creating, I would say. In this area, I say yeah, but it isn't anything that we're creating. We're following in the footsteps that people in the Atlanta area is already doing. Like Coach Brad, EY Sports.
Yes, Coach Brad. Shout out to Coach Brad. I forgot him.
Brad, he got his league championship, I think, this weekend. He created his own league. So it's just stuff like that, man. We see the vision of it, and we're trying to, implement that same stuff in our area for these kids. And I can go on all day and all night and talk about this stuff, man. But I ain't finna hold these people doing that. Appreciate everybody.
Oh yeah.
Hey, shout out to Coach Chadwick Henson too, man.
Yes, Atlanta Lightning.
Hey, shout out to that man. He's been nothing but support for us. Helping us on the social media side, get everything out that we need to get out, man. So he's been tuned in, locked in, had a great conversation with him when he was on the show, so shout out to him as well, man. We appreciate everything you're doing to help this movement, brother. So
Jared Pro too.
Yes, sir. Yes. Like I said, we can go on and on. So, like Charles said, he hit you with that old school line. What'd you say, Charles?
Charge it to my mind, not my heart.
Yeah. But that's how we feel, man. Like I said, I'm just super excited tonight, man. So, Kenny, man, you caught up in the mix right now, brother. Yeah, so it's just all coming together, man. Like I said, we can't big up Wasey enough for what he's doing to push the movement, man, and Sean and off on the radar and all of those guys, man. It's just it's crazy right now, but it's definitely moving. So, but enough of that, viewers. We appreciate you as well. Tune in, lock in. Yo, we going on Sunday? We're not going Sunday, right? No, we're not going Sunday. We're going next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Okay.
Stay tuned for that. We'll reveal that probably Sunday.
Yeah, we'll reveal it soon coming up. Right. So we'll get that out, man. Charles put a flyer together with the flyers. So we'll reveal that. Other than that, man, fellas, y'all got anything else?
No, sir.
All right, Kenny, again, man, great name. Appreciate you being on the show, brother. Hey, so there's nothing more to say, man. We out of here. Peace.